Today, we are going to be taking a look at the death of Web3. Now, just like a Victorian child with influenza, they're not going to make it through the winter. Before we look into the problems that have led up to these events, let's take a look at the events themselves. First of all, in recent days, the cryptocurrency Ecomi, also known as OMI, has crashed 82% due to the absolutely colossal pump and dump. This is a cryptocurrency that many YouTubers were touting as the next big crypto. They rode the early wave, they got their money, and they got the hell out of Dodge, leaving all the new investors very much out of pocket. Also, after a scan of the blockchain, the NFT market is quite simply collapsing. As reported by The Independent and many other news outlets, NFT sales fell to a daily average of about 19,000 for this week, a 92% decline from its peak of about 225,000 daily in September. On top of that, active wallets fell about 88% to only 14,000 last week, from a high of 119,000 in November. After recent chaos with the Bored Ape Yacht Club being hacked and users having their wallets drained of around 30 million worth of ugly monkeys with kazoos in their mouth, the Bored Ape Yacht Club coin, also known as ApeCoin, has absolutely tanked from a price of $26.70 to $14.30, only recovering over the last few days up to $14.52. And on top of all of this, we have the biggest play-to-earn game in the world, Axie Infinity, who was recently hacked for $600 million, their entire liquidity pool. So, needless to say, some of the biggest titans in crypto and Web3 are absolutely blundering. On top of all of this, one of the biggest crypto exchanges, Crypto.com, were previously offering with their credit cards 10% APR, free airport lounges, and free Netflix, have now decided that because of recent events in the crypto space, they are no longer going to be offering these. Users of the card will still get these benefits up until the point of their contract ending, or their stake ending in the crypto world. But either way, this doesn't look good. Some of the biggest titans in the Web3 and crypto industry are having to pull away from what they promised. And while most are backing away from their promises and reeling in expectations, many of them are actually doing the opposite. They're hyping up more stuff that doesn't exist, because they need to fill the void of people leaving the NFT market to be able to keep this cycle churning. And now that I think about it, this actually really does remind me of a quote from The Expanse from Amos, where he's talking about the churn. We interrupt this transmission to tell you about the lovely sponsor of today's video, Brilliant. Brilliant is an online learning platform. The best way to learn anything is by doing it yourself. Learn interactively with Brilliant's fun, hands-on lessons in maths, science, and computer science. Interactive learning helps you learn 6 times more efficiently than watching lecture videos. Nobody likes doing that. I've been using Brilliant to do a course every morning while I'm eating my breakfast. They're quick, simple, and informative. My 2 personal favourites that I would highly recommend are Neural Network Basics and Algorithm Fundamentals. Work that I've been doing recently has required me to brush up on both of these and even learn completely new areas of them. Join the millions of people who are already learning on Brilliant with a special offer just for you guys. Head to the link in the description or pinned comment to get started for free with Brilliant's interactive lessons. The first 200 viewers will also get 20% off an annual membership. So what are you waiting for? Check out Brilliant using my link in the description, and again, a massive thank you to Brilliant for sponsoring this video. So, now that we've explained some of the signs of everything going wrong, let's look at how it all went wrong, and why Web3 isn't exactly the golden safe haven everyone's touting it as. To understand what I'm about to tell you, we first need to understand what Web3 is. And I was surprised to find out how many people are not aware of the differences between Web1, Web2, and Web3. Web1 was the OG internet. Think back to dial-up connections, untargeted, irrelevant advertisements, and 80+ hours to download Quake. Web pages were basically just that, pages of text, with no interactivity such as login systems or really anything to do other than reading. The internet at this time was purely for you guys to be consumers of, with no easy or tangible way for you to create a website or forum for yourself. Fun fact for those who don't know, this was also the time frame when the dot-com bubble took place. Now, this brings us on to Web 2. Starting in 2004, the internet was no longer a one-sided telephone call. In the past, websites would deliver content to you for you to read or watch. With the introduction of Web 2, this all changed. Now web pages were not only sending information to you, but gathering information from you, such as location, name, email address, and even bank details. This is the time frame that spawned many of the tech giants that we see today, such as Facebook, YouTube, and even Amazon. Along with all the previously mentioned companies, this is when it became common practice for large companies to sell all of this data to advertisers, to help them land specific ads on users' pages. Because let's be real, Callum Upton in England is not going to be interested in a painter and decorator service in Texas. I might be interested in some pipe laying services over there, but that's a topic for another video. Jokes aside, this ad explanation will become much more relevant in a short while. So let's get on to what we're all here for, Web 3. Web 3 is the latest revision of the internet built on the blockchain with a focus on decentralization. There are a few main selling points here, such as truly owning your own data and assets, decentralization to avoid censorship, and their biggest selling point, anonymity. They love that one. So let's tackle Web 3 and its mountain of issues one step at a time. Let's start out by touching on the previous point of advertisements, shall we? The end goal of Web 3 is that you have a single crypto wallet that defines you as an individual. Every single record of everything you've posted on social media, every purchase you've ever made, every currency asset you currently own, have spent, or have been sent by another person. Every time you sign a transaction to log into a Web 3 based site or app, your monthly paycheck, NFT tickets to a festival or event. Now, you're probably starting to see the problem here. While your name isn't directly tied to this wallet, as soon as somebody sends you money or you make a purchase from a person's store, they know everything about you. Targeted advertisements were easy before Web 3. They've now ascended to a godlike level of efficiency. If Facebook moves to Web 3, which I do believe it will eventually, they can now see exactly the types of events you're going to, which they could already, but now they can also see if you've already purchased a ticket to that event and how many. They simply check your wallet for an NFT access ticket for that event. And here's the horrifying part of a publicly viewable wallet. Stalking somebody has never been easier. Let's say I want to track my ex-girlfriend, Jenny. I now have a single place where I can track Jenny step by step through her day. If I told you, the viewer, to post a live log of your bank statements, along with sharing your location on your phone, you'd be right to tell me to jump off a bridge. So why are we so excited about willingly doing this with Web 3? Next, let's touch on the point of decentralization. This is an absolutely horrible idea when combined with the previously mentioned point. Let's use Jenny as an example again. I've stalked her for 3 weeks and all my efforts to get her back have been futile. Well, NFTs are here to the rescue. NFTs are essentially the same as a crypto coin. They are stored in a wallet, cannot be deleted, and they are decentralized, and exist on your wallet's transaction history like a shit stain for all of eternity. And the best part? Anyone can make an NFT. Literally anyone with 5 minutes to spare. So this is great. We've now created a perfectly efficient harassment tactic, all thanks to Web 3. I'm now going to mint an NFT of Jenny's topless photos that she sent me while drunk, send them to her wallet, which I should mention she has no way to accept or decline this transaction. It just happens. Now, when anyone looks at Jenny's wallet, they're greeted with possibly the last thing Jenny would want tied to her name, her nude photos. But it's okay, because the solution is simple, right? Surely Jenny just deletes them and all is good in the world again. Wrong. As previously mentioned, the blockchain ledger is decentralized and lasts forever, meaning those photos will too. Jenny can, however, create a second wallet, referred to as a burner wallet. Send the naughty NFTs over to that one, therefore burning them, but, and this is a big but, not quite as big as Jenny's, however still a very big but, that transaction will be listed on Jenny's wallet forever, showing she received it and then passed it on, meaning a reference to that picture will forever be attached to Jenny's wallet, therefore making this completely irreversible and unmoderatable harassment. So, with all of that clarified, let's move on to the next part of Web3. Play to earn. Play to earn games are the future of gaming. Except it's really not. It's like taking a step 300 years back to the Dark Ages. So, what is play to earn? Play to earn is essentially a gaming system where you play and earn. It's very simple in concept, but the deeper you look into it, the more troubling it becomes. I previously mentioned Axie Infinity as an example, so we'll continue with that. Axie Infinity requires you to put money into the game to be able to play it. And then, throughout your gameplay, you will earn that same cryptocurrency right back to your wallet. Now, I have read numerous studies online of people's experiences with playing Axie Infinity and many similar play-to-earn games, and they all yield exactly the same results. The person puts in about $1,000 to get into the game, and they play it every day for 7 days. Now, the amount that you can earn daily is limited by many factors. So, what is the daily average earning from somebody who has put $1,000 into the system? Well, most studies show exactly the same results, between $1.10 to $3, and $3 is really up there on the high end. You got lucky that day. Almost all of these play-to-earn games follow the same sort of return on investment. It will usually take you close to a year to even break even with the investment you put in. And this causes some problems. Problems that are partially tied to something I'm about to tell you. These games are advertised as a play-to-earn game. The entire advertising and marketing coup around it is based on the fact that you, as a nobody, can play a very simple game and earn actual money. Now, this only really counts as a livable wage in countries like Venezuela. You can't be an American citizen or a UK citizen and truly use this as a full-time job. And here's why. In any market that has supply and demand, where the supply outweighs the demand, well, that's cause for a disaster. With the previously mentioned advertising strategy directed perfectly towards the people who want to earn from playing the game, well, there's nobody in those games that wants to spend the money to get the things that those people earned. In a previous video, I used the example of paying £10 to enter an all-you-can-pick strawberry field. That's a thing in the UK, don't know if you have it elsewhere in the world, but we'll pretend you do for the sake of the example. If you have paid to enter a strawberry field where you can pick as many strawberries as you want, and then you try to sell those strawberries to other people who have also just paid to enter this strawberry field and pick as many strawberries as they want, why would anyone buy them? And this is truly one of the big stumbling blocks for play to earn. The supply is always outweighing the demand. Let's take a game like RuneScape, for example, a game where there is no play to earn, well, not officially. However, there are many players that play the game purely for fun, and they're willing to spend some money because the game is fun. But they can't buy gold from the actual game company, so they buy it from other players. And there's this secondary market of players that are playing the game purely to make real-life money. And it works. It's not legal by Jagex's terms and conditions, but it works. And even in a game where it is not encouraged and not legal, we still see the signs of this problem. Whenever a new, incredibly rare item is introduced and players really want it, but they don't want to spend the time to get it, guess what they do? They buy the gold or they buy the item off someone else. And this naturally creates a secondary market for a secondary set of players to come in and play the game only for real-life profits. They learn the content, they get the item, and they farm it over and over again, and then sell them onto the players that do not want to earn these items. This is the perfect example of a play-to-earn game working even when it shouldn't. So how are the actual play-to-earn games getting this so wrong? And the answer is simple. They are enticing people through the promises of them being able to make money, not through it being a good game. Almost every single play-to-earn game that I've seen has been abysmally underwhelming. It has been a spreadsheet simulator with no actual gameplay that you would actually ever enjoy in your life. And that's really saying something considering players like to play EVE. This is why almost every play-to-earn game token that you'll see on the market has such a low value. There's a lot of it coming into a circulation, and there's barely any of it going out. Why would you buy something when you could just earn it? RuneScape has the benefit of not tying a real-world value to gold. The majority of the players never consider doing it. But when a play-to-earn game is directly encouraging the tying of real-world value to a digital currency or digital asset, it has the opposite effect. People are less likely to buy it because they know that they can earn it. It's a moral conflict of efficiency. Axie Infinity is possibly the most complete game that there is. It's the game with the most gameplay actually available. Yet even that game is struggling to keep this cycle going. And honestly, that's really all there is to talk about on play-to-earn games. There's nothing more to it. It's a failed cycle of economics. So this brings us on to our next topic of Web3, DAOs, or Decentralized Autonomous Organizations. Now, if your head has just exploded purely from me telling you what that definition means, hold on to your horses, because it's about to get a lot more ridiculous than that. A decentralized autonomous organization is essentially the culmination of blockchain and automated company organization. Now, what do I mean by this? It's essentially a company that is coded. The organization runs itself, pays out its employees, and does pretty much everything automatically. And that sounds great, right? In concept, yes, it really does. But to my knowledge, to this date, there has not been a single DAO that has actually accomplished anything. Because here's the problem. If you make a company purely out of code, someone's going to hack it. And if somebody does successfully hack it because of the way the blockchain works, you're shit out of luck. This has already happened to a company in America that was buying land through group-funded company investments. All done in cryptocurrency, of course. Their DAO was compromised, and they lost all of the money and the land that they had been saving up for. And just like that, they didn't only lose their money and their precious land, they lost control of the company on the blockchain. Another prime example of the stupidity that is being performed with DAOs is the company that decided they were going to raise enough money to buy the original copy of the Dune books, or Dune if you're American, and burn it. Literally just burn it. And no, of course, that isn't the end of that scenario. They also seem to think that by turning that book into an NFT after burning it, that they now own the intellectual property rights to create a follow-up Dune film. If your head didn't explode with the definition of DAO, I'm hoping that coming to the realization of how stupid some of these people are has made it explode. When I heard this, I was sat here, mouth open, in absolute shock at the sheer stupidity. And this is a reoccurring theme in crypto. Stupidity after stupidity. Nobody understands copyright laws, and nobody even wants to try to. When it comes to DAOs, there really isn't a lot for me to tell you about them, because currently they are very much in their infancy, and I hope they stay there, because they are still as ridiculous now as the day that they were created. The only thing that's gotten better about them is that people have realised how unfathomably stupid they are. Ladies and gents, when it comes to Web3, this is possibly the briefest introduction I can give to you in the most simple layman terms, while still going in-depth enough that you understand exactly what this garbage is that's coming out of my mouth. And now, you're probably wondering, well, Web3 isn't dead yet, so how is Web3 going to die? And the most honest and simple explanation that I can give to you is quite simply the community. The community of Web3 is the reason it will die. Everywhere you look, there's somebody trying to shill an NFT to pump up the price to get themselves a quick buck. Every corner you turn, there's somebody asking you, hey, do you want to join my DAO? Which, at this point, is just like somebody coming up to you on the playground at school and saying, hey, let's start a company. And you going, oh, okay then, what are we going to do? I don't know. Maybe we'll collect sticks by the bench and then we'll move them to another bench. And that's a company, right? And then when you're back in art class, you draw little passes for your company to get access to go behind the park bench. And you all kind of agree that you're working for a company, but nothing really happens. It just exists. And then, of course, you've got people taking advantage of the anonymity and the obscurity of the blockchain to commit straight-up fraud. Drug deals are now dealing in cryptocurrency because it's the most easy thing to hide. Until, of course, they send money to somebody that knows them, and then everybody knows that they've been doing dodgy dealings. Web3 is only popular right now because it's essentially an online tax haven. Everything that is traceable isn't traceable to you right now. Well, until it is, and then all the benefits are gone. And honestly, Web3 won't go out with a bang, but it'll go out with a whimper.